In this video, we are going to understand closure properly by solving this exercise. Write a function called multiply by that takes a number. So we'll go ahead, write a function multiply by that takes a number. So we'll call it num as an argument and returns a function. So we have to return a function. Return function takes another number. So we'll call it num2 as an argument and returns the multiplication of both numbers. So from here, we'll say return num, let's just call it num1 so it will be easier to understand, num1 into num2. We are done. So when we call this function, it will work like this. Write a function called full name that takes a string first name. So we'll go ahead, write a function full name, and here it takes first name and returns another function. So we'll call return function. We don't have to give any name to it. It takes last name and returns the full name. So we'll say return $, first name, space, $ last name. Write a function called is in between that takes two parameters. So it is taking two parameters a and b and returns a new function. So from here, we need to return a new function. When you call the returned function with any number, so it will accept a number c. It returns true if the value is in between a and b. So you have to return true if c is greater than a. So here there can be multiple conditions. Either a can be greater than b or b can be greater than a. So we are just going to add if a is greater than b, it means that c should be greater than b and c should be less than a. If that is the case, you have to return true because greater than operator we are using, so it will return truthy or falsy value. So we are using comparison operator here, so it will return true or false, and looks for first truthy value. So if this is the case, then it will return true, else we just have to do the other way around. We just have to do c less than b and c greater than a. So let's see if it is working or not. So we'll call one after another. 21 true, 45 should be true, and 103 should be false. So it is working. Moving on to next, write a function called let's wish them that takes one parameter string, that is greeting, and returns a function that takes another argument called message. So we'll return another function that takes message and returns. If you look at the output here, we're calling call with hey, so it's saying hey, and you just have to return here. The first thing will be greeting, hey will come first, and then whatever message you're passing. Moving on to next, write a function called addGame which takes a string and a current score. So this is a game name and this is current score, and it returns a function. Calling that function will increment the score by 1. So we need to return a function, and if you call this function, it will alert a message saying score of basketball is 1. So we just have to say return backtick score of, it will come from game name, and the value will come from current score. We also need to increment the score here. So we'll say current score and we'll just say plus plus because it will increment the score and then return it. So let's just go ahead and execute this code. I'll copy it, refresh it here, paste it, and now just go for the first one. So the game is hockey, initial score is 0, press enter and we can see 1. Similarly, hockey 2, then cricket, we'll look at cricket, it is 2, and last we have 3. So it is working properly. Moving on to next, we have write a function called getCard, which takes one of these options, club, spade, heart, diamond, returns a function. So we need to return a function. Calling that function returns a random number between this value. So let's go ahead and see how we are going to create random number. So we have to create random number of the suit. So here we'll say we'll call it values is equal to an array, and here we just signed it like this. We just make it a string. So we have all the values here. We just need to create random. So how can you do that? So we have already done it multiple times. So I'm going to create function get random number. It will return math.floor, and here we'll use math.random multiplied by the length of the array. So here we'll just say values dot length. So we'll get the random number by calling this function. So from here we'll just say return, we have to return card is 6 club. So we just have to return like this. Card is the 6 and club will come from a random value will be values is an array. So here we'll get a random number. So we'll say get random number, call it, we'll get a random number, and that will be the letter coming out from here, and first one will be suit. So we'll say $. So let's go ahead and execute this code to see the output. We'll paste it here. Let's look at the first value, press enter, and we can see, oh, we have an extra curly brackets here. Let's just remove this. Now it will be perfect. Let's call random card again. So it will be random card of club. Similarly, if we create of spade, it will have a random card of spade. We are getting an extra curly brackets because of this. We have already removed it here. So that will work properly. So in this way, we completed this exercise.